I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys how I went from a chunky little caterpillar to a little sick, like a little happy butterfly. Oh, I'm low-key freaking starving. But I'm not gonna eat, sleep, do anything until I film this video. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel, Pookie. If you're new here, my name is Cece. I'm here to talk all girly things with you guys. If you're new here, click that subscribe button. On my channel, I cover health, wellness, fitness, well-being, healing, soft girl era, all things girly, and wanted to bring you guys on this journey with me. I am in transformation, a big one right now. And if you're not new here and you already watched my first video and subscribed to my channel, welcome back, babes. Today I'm going to be doing a big video, so get your popcorn, get your little snacky poos, get your little soft blanket, and you guys, call me like dorky, but I have a notebook. It's so cute. It has these little cherries on it. I got it from the store yesterday because I just feel like when I put something in my phone, like ideas or stuff that I want to talk about with you guys, it's just like it goes out the window. Like I write it in my notes, I said it, I forget it, and I never look at it again. So I'm just like, well, let's go back to 3rd grade. Let me get my notebook. Let me actually write and plan and brainstorm what kind of videos I want to prioritize. Definitely am super excited to talk to you guys about this. Ever since I posted that video on my TikTok, which if you're not following me on TikTok, go ahead and give me a follow. I'll go ahead and put my little username right here. But you guys, it was like a point of view, you didn't give up on yourself. I've had a lot of girlies reach out, ask a lot of the same questions, so I really wanted to get those answered for you today. And I did post something on my Instagram asking what you guys wanted to be answered in this video. It's not quite like a Q&A, but it's just things that I want to make sure that I cover for you guys. This video has been really highly requested on how I went from being 183 pounds to 158 is what I'm currently weighing in. But before I start, I just want to say a disclaimer out there. I'm not a professional fitness trainer. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. I'm not certified in anything. I'm just speaking to you guys off my experience, what's been working for me. And of course, I want to share those with you guys. I was like, I'm going to be honest, I was vulnerable. I was desperate. I was unhappy with myself. I didn't like what I saw in the mirror, and I was just looking up everything, and I didn't always find the videos that I wanted to find as far as like people being really transparent. I feel like it was more clickbait than actually like opening up and telling you guys the real, the ugly, the truth. Because as being a girly, you know that pretty hurts. Beyonce said it the best. Okay, pretty does hurt. Beauty is pain. We've heard that like our entire lives. When you decide to go on this transformative journey, healthy lifestyle change, whatever you guys want to call it, it's gonna test you not only physically, but emotionally, spiritually, mentally. It's huge. They call it a transformation for a reason. Okay, we want to be butterfly status. Okay, I want to talk to you guys and tell you guys how I went from a chunky little caterpillar to a little sick, like a little happy butterfly. That's what we're gonna go ahead and reference it as. Look at my notes. Okay. So yes, 183. I was 183. How did I get to 183? So I don't know if I am comfortable enough like talking to you guys about how I got to 183. I like a touchy subject for me still, but I'm sure that with time I'll feel closer to you guys and I'm gonna be able to like open up a little bit more. Let's just fast forward. And it was right around my birthday in October. My birthday is October 19th. I'm a Libra game. So I had a surgery. So I turned 23 in October. I had a pretty invasive surgery, I would call it. I was basically told that I was gonna be down like 6 to 8 weeks. I couldn't do like normal day activities. I couldn't lift heavy. It's just a lot of downtime. And I was like, I'm okay with that. Like, but then I kind of put thought into it. And when I first moved here to Tennessee, I was single and I was working like almost 3 jobs. So I was juggling a lot at the time. So for me to be out 6 to 8 weeks, I was like, I guess that will be okay. Like, I need time to heal. But my job didn't really like it that much, and so I went and worked with my mom and picked up a little part-time job. I was like a little florist, like, you know, I was doing flowers. I was posting on my Instagram. You guys might have saw. But anyways, so I lost my server job. It was a really toxic work environment. If you guys are in a toxic work environment, cut it out. Like, just cut that off right now. You don't deserve to go to work and to be like treated and be 8 hours a day in a hostile environment. I don't recommend that to anybody. Like, meant to be. They didn't want to support that I needed the time off. So if I didn't have my partner that I have today, I don't really know if I know and I believe in myself that I would have made it through it, but I don't know if it would have been like a smooth, but by far it wasn't a smooth transition. But it definitely helped me having someone there to care for me mentally, physically, and just help me do the things that like I couldn't do. I was going to the doctor quite a lot because of the surgery I had like checkups and stuff like that. In February is when I found out I was like officially in big back season. I went and stepped on the scale and I was like, oh, check it again. I stepped on the scale and I was 183. But mind you, I had been to the doctor like 3 weeks before that, and I had did like the weight and scale and everything like that. And I had kind of had an idea of where I was at as far as weight. I was, the last time before I found out I was 183, I was around like 158, and then I went to the doctor again. I was like 165, and I was just like, okay, it's just because like, you know, I'm down and all I'm doing is watching Gordon Ramsay, friggin' Kitchen Nightmares, MTV's The Challenge, just binge watching my favorite shows. I don't know if I would say I was milking it. I definitely had my little bell and was like, I want ice cream, I want hot Cheetos, I'm gonna eat a whole thing of crescent rolls, which I actually really did. Right after I had my surgery, my partner had to on this trip to New York where he's from. I was like left alone, and I think that was the biggest thing that went wrong, is that I was left alone. I was home all day and I was emotionally unstable, and I just remember since I was little being like an emotional eater. I always knew I kind of had a toxic relationship with food.
I love food.
I was never skinny. I've never been skinny, and I don't think I'm ever gonna be skinny. That's okay. It took me, I'm 23 years old now. It took me a long time to figure that out and to be okay with it. Obviously, I am like, you see this going on here? I'm solid, okay? I'm big boned. I've always been. Shout out to my big bone girlies. You know what's up. It obviously is mostly genetics, but it can be the way you grew up. It all starts when you were small, as far as like your relationship with food. I grew up with a lot of siblings and a single mom. So a lot of the times if my mom wasn't home to cook us a dinner, and she was really good about making us dinner almost every night when she could, like having a meat, a vegetable, and a carb, pretty balanced around there. But I think when she wasn't home, and like I'm the oldest of 5, when she wasn't home and I was home, like it was a free-for-all. We ate whatever we want. There was nobody to tell us no. And I think because of that, like, I was eating whatever I want. You're young, you eat what you want, you don't think about it. You're like, I'm not gonna get fat, I'm not gonna get old, I can eat whatever I want. So that's kind of like the mentality I feel like I had growing up. And then once I got into my teenage years, like obviously it was all about like Takis and hot Cheetos. I don't know if you guys like went on that vibe too, where like you're gonna take your little Taki bag to as breakfast in the morning and all that, like so terrible, right? But I was pretty active when I was a teenager. Like when I got into high school, obviously in 8th grade, I was like, I just discovered the weekend, so I was like in my room a lot, like just being a weirdo. Didn't want to be around nobody. I started high school. I'm pretty much a social butterfly. Took PE, like I had gym, I was in dance. I walked to school when I didn't steal my mom's car. I walked to school and I didn't really like piece that together as far as like when I was in high school, I thought like your point of view is so different. I thought I was so fat. I thought everybody was like looking at how big I was all the time, just like really self-conscious, and my self-esteem was, I wouldn't say low, but it definitely isn't where it's at today. And that's just part of growing up. I'm the type of person that I've like always had a boyfriend. So anyway, so I kind of just stuck to myself. did me, but still friends with everybody. And I graduated, I gained like 20 pounds. You're going into college in like the freshman 15 where you gain like 15 pounds or whatever that is. Well, like I know that like once I graduated and left high school, I put on like 20 pounds. And at first I thought, okay, it's my relationship, I'm like happy weight. And then I felt like a little bit uncomfortable in my body because I was wishing I had the body I did in high school, and I wasn't like, basically I felt like I was like not really appreciative of what I had. And so I was always focusing on like what I didn't have and always looking at my glass half empty instead of half full, which I want to touch more bases on that in maybe like another video. So I'm just trying to give you guys kind of like a background story, where it stemmed from and why I have the mindset I do. If you guys can relate to any of this, comment down below and let's talk about it. I love to respond to you guys. Back on track. So I gained 20 pounds, was tried to go to college, tried to do trade school.
COVID happened.
I was broke. I was 18, about to be 19. I started dancing. So yes, I was a stripper. I was a stripper, and I don't really use the word stripper. Like I call it, I was a dancer. It was a form of art. I felt like it's all how you look at it. And in my mind, it was justified because I needed some money. So when people ask me like, oh, why did you? Because I needed some money. I mean, come on, sis. You think I really want to be walking around in a G-string 9 hours a day and 6-inch heels? When I started dancing, I kept up shape and I held my weight pretty good. And when I started making real money, I was eating whatever I wanted all the time. I never really cooked at home. I had a beautiful downtown apartment in Phoenix, and I had this beautiful kitchen. I never used it. I wish I could have that kitchen back because I miss it and I loved it so much. I'm like canes, honey. I was getting that extra toast, just whatever I wanted. And I started seeing like in my dancing videos and on stage, like I was definitely kind of like not in shape. And honey, I was tired. And I didn't really put two and two together about like what I was eating and how I felt and what it was doing to my body, because I was so focused on so many other things. I just want to put out there, when I use the word diet, it's not to be restrictive. I mean diet as like your diet, like what you eat in a day. Not like, oh, the keto diet, oh, the carnivore diet. Like there's no specific, like I don't want diet to be a trigger word, because I would just be winded. And I was just like, why am I so winded? Like winded, like huffing, puffing. I'm gonna blow the house down. Like big bad wolf. I felt like crap. Little comments from like family and friends like, oh, you're a thick girl. Like, oh, like, you know, I could tell they were trying to say like, hey girl, like you're getting a little big. But nobody told me I was getting big back the way I did. It wasn't until I saw like a freaking picture of myself and I was like,
whoa.
And what I was comfortable with, and being 5 foot, literally, like it was just too much for my body to handle. It was just not good at all. I just didn't feel good. I didn't look good. And as far as clothes, like I was like buying larges, extra larges, and I'm just like, what happened to the medium, Pookie? Like it's just what was my norm. What clicked in my head was that something had to change. I don't know if this is weird, but this book, like this book right here, it helped me so much. There wasn't anybody I could talk to, I felt like at the time. There wasn't anybody that I felt like I could relate to at the time. Like I was trying to go on YouTube and find girlies like me and find girls that had the similar body shape as I do, or girlies that were starting at the same starting line that I was, and I just couldn't find anything. So I picked up this book, is Becoming an Empowered Empath, How to Clear Your Energy, Set Boundaries, and Embody Your Intuition. And I know you're probably like, no, she isn't trying to refer a book, but I'm just speaking of what works for me. And this changed like my mindset from like day and night. Like I almost get emotional talking about it to you guys, because like easy to be like, nah, that's a hard pass, I don't want to do that. At that point where you're willing to try anything, honey, get the book. If you can't find it at Barnes & Noble or on Amazon, I'll try to find a link so you guys can find it. An online copy that you can read. What I really love about it is that it's not a big book. That I really like about it, look, I have a little lotto sticker as my bookmark. Wanted to read it again, so I've read it twice, but I I'm gonna read it for my third time, just because it's those type of books where every time I read it, I feel like I catch something that I didn't see the first or second time. After every chapter, not only is there a journaling exercise, but there is a guided meditation that you can listen to, and my whole outlook on everything was completely 100% different. I did try one journal exercise with it. It was
pretty intense.
Crazy. Like, this relates so much to everything. Like, it gave me all the answers I was searching for. I feel like maybe I can do a video about yoga and meditation and what that looks like for me and what I do. Kind of hard to take it serious. I want to say the first 10 times that you sit down and you try to meditate. But if you're like the type of person that struggles from like insomnia or anxiety, a little bit of manic depression, then what it is so hard is to completely turn off your mind, clear your mind. What comes to you when you have a clear mind is absolutely out of this world. My big thing is like, don't knock it till you try it. I made a point to, instead of grabbing my phone and looking at my phone when I first woke up, what I did was I got up and I went straight outside, and I would sit outside for like 5 to 10 minutes and just look at the trees, look at the sky, thank God. First 5 to 10 minutes when you wake up is so crucial, and it sets the tone for the rest of the day. Like, I just suggest you guys try that. It's just putting down the phone and not picking it up right when you wake up, and just go outside and get fresh air and some sunlight. Try it and then speak on it. So just small things like that. A sleepy routine in the mornings was like making my bed, because like I could stay in my bed for like 3 hours in the morning. I would get up and I would make my bed right away so that I couldn't crawl back into my bed. Like, I'm friggin' Sleeping Beauty over here. Like, small changes make big changes. Cutting off all toxicity, is that how you say it? Just like toxic people, relationship, work environments. I'm not afraid to close doors to open new ones, and you guys shouldn't be either. Talking about food, people think that to lose weight or to be healthy, you have to like not eat anything good, cut out all your favorite foods, and it's not true. When I lost the most weight, which was like 7 pounds in a month, and I think it was my first month, I had pizza like twice that month. I still had my chocolate and my chips. I just ate it in moderation. It was really hard to do that. I don't want you guys to think that like just because you didn't ration the bag of hot Cheetos and make it last 3 days instead of eating it in one whole sitting, that all your progress is just wiped, because that's completely false. And I would be like, is eating these 3 pieces of pizza gonna mess up my progress? Like, I would really look up those things because I didn't know who to ask. Nobody I knew or looked to was trying to do the same thing I was doing, which was trying to change my life and be a healthier person and really take care of my body and treat my body like what it is, a temple that I'm blessed to live in and be in, and a beautiful one at that. And just because you're like changing what you eat and you want to eat better, you don't always have to cut out everything that you love. You could still eat chocolate, just maybe eat dark chocolate and don't eat the whole thing of chocolate. You could still have hot Cheetos. Eat the baked hot Cheetos. If you're like,
ew, I can't do those baked hot Cheetos,
get the normal bag of hot Cheetos, but just ration it. And it is so hard. It's easier said than done. Like, I think they say like it takes 21 days to break and form a new habit. Well, I would say about 3 weeks. It was like the first 3 weeks was the hardest part. Like, you're shedding all that old skin, and you're like walking into the new person you're supposed to be, like, to it. And I would prioritize breakfast when I first woke up, and I feel like for the first 2 months, all I ate for breakfast was my protein smoothies, a breakfast in the morning. That's what I got used to, and I would just start waking up hungry in the morning, and my body would start, the metabolism and everything would start going right when I woke up, instead of like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. To take progress pictures. Not only are you gonna want that fire content when down the road, when you can say that you did it and you're proud of yourself, but the progress pictures, you're gonna be uncomfortable. Number one, you're gonna be like, ew, I'm never gonna post this. Be like, I don't want anybody to see this. Glad I did now, because when the scale wasn't moving, all I had was progress pictures. You can track progress in how your clothes fit and your measurements, but honestly, the progress pictures is what kept me going. All I had was myself. And when you do that inner work, you're gonna realize that all you have is yourself. You guys can watch my videos for advice and tips and emotional and moral support, all that good stuff, because I want to be here for you guys. But you're gonna realize all you have is yourself. So when you compare yourself to your old progress pictures, like, it's the best thing you can do. Of what people post is just not realistic, and you guys know that already. I still look at my progress pictures to this day and I'm like, damn, you know, like, damn girl, like, she knows, like, she really did it. Like, and I even look at the progress pictures sometimes and I'm like, who is she? Like, was that really me? No freaking way. You look at yourself, it's such a different light. That I was just focusing on my intake because I knew for me personally that would be the hardest part. And I just wanted to go over like the nutrients part and the intake part, because everybody's different and you might be struggling with like the intake part. Or I have a healthy relationship with food, I have self-control, I know how to tell myself no, I know how to stop eating, I know how to eat the right things. And you were just focusing on more movements and what that looked like for me. That's perfectly fine. I'm here to cater to both. But for me personally, it was like internally, like the relationship with the food I had. So like I would say the first 2 or 3 weeks, that's what I was focusing on. Your girl can eat. And especially when I lived with my dad temporarily, when I was making his plates, and my dad is freaking 6'3", 200 something pounds, I was putting the same amount of food on my plate. 5'1".
Like, no.
I don't need to eat as much as a grown man needs to eat, but that's what I was like. I was just piling it in, and I would definitely be like overeating, like eating when I'm already full, because it was like that good. But I knew that it was like I was filling some type of void. I just didn't know that at the time. But food swaps, just like looking for those healthy alternatives instead of like what you're used to buying. Once you make those changes, like, it's so weird to say it, but you're not really gonna want to go back to the crap you were eating. And eating in moderation, portion control was like a really big thing for me, because the first night I started all these changes, like, my body was not happy. I went to bed like freaking hungry. And I'm not saying starve yourself, but this is just how it was for me, because obviously I'm gonna be hungry because I was probably eating around 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. Such a low deficit, of course I'm gonna be starving. So it was hard for me to sleep the first couple weeks because of everything I was doing. Give yourself patience and time. Like, the first 2 weeks, I didn't just like go from eating 2,500, 3,000 calories to like 1,200 calories. As much as I aimed for that and that was my goal, now I know that that wasn't really like the healthiest option. Even though it did work and I did set my calorie deficit goal to be 1,200 calories a day, I wouldn't recommend it or suggest it. I wouldn't do it again, but it did work. You have to give your body time to adapt to what you're doing to it. So don't be so hard on yourself if you're just like cutting what you used to eat completely in half and you're not losing the 10 pounds you want in 1 week. It just doesn't work like that. Everything takes time. One of the biggest things that helped me cut out all those extra calories that you're drinking your calories, tracking your progress on a app in your intake, which I highly suggest that you do. Instead of like guesstimating what you're eating, I use my Net Diary app because it's free. Just those things I would try for the first just 3 weeks, 21 days. You can do it, 21-day challenge, and just see how you feel. And then decide, do I want to keep going, or is this just not for me? But that's what I would do. Try it for 3 weeks and see how you feel, honey. The self-love part of it, make a different kind of video for that, because I feel like I tend to go really, really in depth with it. If you don't love yourself at your heaviest, how are you gonna love yourself at your healthiest? You can't wait to be like, when I lose that 10 pounds, I'll be happy. When I lose 25 pounds, then I'll be happy. Because you think that that's what's gonna make you happy, but when you do reach maybe that goal or that weight that you wanna be, you're still gonna be looking at yourself like, what can I fix next? What can I change next? And it's okay to wanna better yourself, but if you're always unhappy with the way you look and just a negative person, like, that just means you've got a lot of inner work to do, honey. Because if you're doing this solely just to see that number you want to see on the scale, or to fit into that size jeans that you feel like you would you know, think more highly of yourself by fitting in that pair of jeans, like, just exit this video right now. You're not going to want to subscribe to my channel because that's not what it's about. It's about here. Once you work on here, this will follow. It's just like trying to live your life without thinking with your heart. You can't just think everything logically. I mean, you kind of do have to listen to your heart a little bit and like kind of like, you know, work on yourself and kind of like, you know, water yourself and give yourself that nutrients like mentally and emotionally and spiritually, so that way you can flourish into the person you were always supposed to be and be on that mindset and really elevate yourself. And that's why I said, you know, sometimes you're going to have to quit that job or cut off those relationships or cut out toxic people and just put all that energy into yourself instead of it being in 100 million different types of outlets that you're putting your energy. If you just take all that power and back in and just put it into yourself, you'll be amazed at how strong and powerful you really are. Like, you're gonna be like, who is this girl? Like, I unlocked this new character or something. Like, you know what I mean? Buy outfits that make you feel confident. And I felt cute even when I was 25 pounds heavier 5 months ago in my little outfits, my little Walmart workout outfits. Like, sometimes you do need to spoil yourself a little bit and, you know, make sure you just always invest in yourself. It's always going to pay off. Just buy those cute outfits, sis. Those cute outfits that you feel good in and you feel beautiful in, because that's going to help you. And it's like halfway of the battle is showing up. And if you can show up to yourself and make yourself presentable, it's just gonna, it's all gonna click. Try to take a break from social media when you're on a fragile and delicate journey, and it's you versus you. Having that mindset, like, it's me versus me, you're never gonna lose. How can you lose if you're not even competing with anybody else but yourself? So it's literally that easy. Just take a break from social media, because honey, elevation requires separation, and it's so friggin' true. And if you haven't tried it, it could be life-changing for you. I said, it's not going to be easy by any means. You're going to have to be your number one supporter. You're going to have to be your biggest fan. You're going to have to be your biggest cheerleader. You guys aren't used to doing that. Well, it's time to learn how. And I could definitely make a video just kind of like, you know, girl power and just finding who you are and being in tune with that voice inside of you, because that is your intuition. And as women, we have the strongest intuition. It's part of us. It's in our DNA. We all have it. And like, let's connect, let's thrive, and let's use it. And it's just, that's what girl power is all about. You need protein to build muscle, but obviously another pro to protein is that it fills you up and you stay full longer. So for some people that may be hard to eat their body weight of grams in protein, because when I was 183, it was really hard to try to eat 183 grams of protein. It's possible, but it was a little bit difficult. Recommend eating your body weight in grams of protein. And as far as carbs, I would just try to eat healthier options of carbs. Like, instead of white bread, choosing wheat bread. And instead of regular bread, try keto bread. And just little tweaks like that. Your body gonna thank you later, sweetheart. Once you get over the mental factor, like, your body will follow up with what you're doing. People think like working out is hard, and it is hard, but up here and like having self-control and having self-discipline and being able to tell yourself no, like, that's harder. Like, I know maybe a lot of people, they're like, you know, I don't want to start working out until I lose this much amount of weight. There's no wrong time to start building muscle. And there's nothing wrong with being a woman and being strong. I think people think like, oh, I'm not going to weight train. Like, oh, I'm not going to weight lift because I don't want to look manly. What you choose to train is totally up to you. How you build your physique is totally up to you. For me personally though, I started like with toning. If you're somebody that you maybe don't feel confident, or you're not able to go to the gym and you don't have space to work out in your house, I would just do walking, and I would aim for 8,000 to 10,000 steps. That's personally what I did. And how I did that was, in the beginning, I would do like 5,000 in the morning, 5,000 in the night. For me, I'm not a runner, and I don't really like cardio, but I'm kind of getting a little bit more into it because I feel so good after I do it. But just taking your time walking is going to be so key to the progress. So when you did all that hard work with all the things I mentioned earlier, you owe it to yourself to get those 10,000 steps in a day. And that's how you're going to not only shed weight, but you're going to be internally healing so much. And it's just so good for your mind too, and your mind and your soul. And you're going to enjoy these walks. And at first you might feel a little like unmotivated, or you're not maybe going to see results fast enough or right away, but just keep going, honey. Just keep swimming, just keep walking. Okay, babe? When you do, as the months go by and time goes on, you're going to want to up your steppage. I am 5 months in, and I still aim for like 12,000 steps. I don't always get my 12,000 steps. I feel like I average about like 9K steps. So 8 to 10 is what I go off of on a daily, and I still do that to this day. But if you are gonna go work out and do weights, do your cardio after your main workout or your main training. A little fat burner, a little monster. Even though you can't spot certain stubborn fat, because a lot of that is just genetic and it's what you eat, but it definitely helps burn fat and keep muscle when you are doing your cardio after your workouts. And if you're like, why would I want to put on muscle? You want to put on muscle. You're not going to be manly, homegirl, but you want to put on muscle because the more muscle you have, the more you burn on a resting rate. And that means the more you burn at a resting rate, the more you can eat, homegirl. That's really when food starts to become your friend and not your enemy. And right now I am maintaining, and I feel like it is kind of hard to maintenance because I was in a deficit for 4 months. And so now I feel like it's a little bit harder for me to hit my 2,000 calories a day. I'm like only averaging about like 1,700 or 1,800 calories. I'm really trying to normalize and maintenance for 2 or 3 months. And then that way when holidays come around and all the good foods come around and Thanksgiving and Christmas dinner and all that stuff like that, I will be hopefully in a bulking phase, and I will be in a slight calorie surplus, because I'm trying to, I really miss the size of my badonki that it was before I started all these changes. Much happier with the shape that it's in and stuff like that. But I do miss having extra, I don't know how to explain it. I'm used to being curvy, and I just noticed that sometimes when you are losing weight, you can't really help where you lose the weight. You can if you're doing body recamp like I am, which is just training to put on muscle and lose fat at the same time. But I've obviously lost my butt a little bit, so I'm trying to get Ms. Dumpy back. So when I do my bulking, I'm super excited to talk more about that with you guys when the time comes, and celebrating your progress. Like you go out once or twice a month and you guys go to Cold Stone, or you go get pizza and wings, because taking the time to just stop and smell the roses is part of how you fall in love with the progress, if that makes sense. I feel like, and then when you do treat yourself, because you know you've been doing all this hard work, like not only physically but emotionally and mentally, it's just like the reward feels just that much better. It's so important to just stop and celebrate those small W's. And when you guys do reach those goals, those goals one at a time that you guys hit, and those milestones, you have to reach out and show me your progress and tell me how it's working for you, so we can celebrate together, because that's what it's all about. You start working on yourself and being a healthy version of yourself, you're going to see other people's true colors. And you might see too that not everybody's always here to support you when you're doing good things for yourself. Not everybody's here to support you when you're working on trying to better yourself. And I feel like that just goes into play as like taking a break from social media and just separating yourself from others. That way you can just truly elevate yourself. Like journaling or riding your bike, finding healthy outlets. I feel like for me, it's mostly yoga and meditation, but I did get a bike. But since it's been so hot out, I feel like I can't freaking ride it outside and enjoy it. And I don't really feel safe going on bike rides around here by myself, just because of an incident that happened One time when I was going on a walk, which maybe I'll tell you guys, maybe I won't, it's just kind of scary and traumatic, but basically I almost got freaking stolen. Just finding those healthy outlets, because sometimes, like I said, when you're working on yourself, you'll be surprised at like who's really there for you and who's not. And sometimes we all need someone to go to, and we all want someone to be there for us, to like catch us when we fall, or you know, to just be there to talk to. And sometimes there won't be anybody, and so that's why it's so important to just work on the relationship that and put all that energy into yourself, because that's who you're gonna have at the end of the day. Just doing things by yourself, I know it can be kind of scary, and I used to be that type of person where I felt like I needed somebody to hold my hand through everything, and I still am kind of that person. I don't know if it's just because like I'm the oldest of 5 and I'm not used to being alone, but alone time is crucial. And if you the more you spend by yourself, the more you realize things that you like, and try new things, and you might find things out about yourself that you never knew. So I would highly suggest just finding healthy outlets that you guys can while you're on this journey, because it's really gonna help you. Do it for yourself, baby girl, because at the end of the day, like, don't you want to be like shitting on these hoes when you're 40, 50 years old looking like you're 20? Don't you want to feel the best that you can feel? I mean, why? We're only getting older. Why wait until you're, you know, older and maybe not as capable as starting now? So start now, babe. I'm gonna tell you guys that you guys got this, and if you feel like you want to give up in any of these in this process that you're starting, this new chapter in your life, like, please reach out, because I'm here to support you guys emotionally. Even though we're not together physically, we can still be there for each other mentally. And I see and read all your guys' comments, and it makes my day, and it pushes me to want to keep putting content out there and showing you guys what something so drastic, this transformation is really about. And I don't feel alone because I have you guys. So I just want to thank you guys, because I really, really love and appreciate all the support that you guys show. On my next video, I'm going to talk more about like my inspiration to starting all this, and what made me take it so serious, if I didn't really cover that in the first part of the video. But I did want to announce my second video. I did film a gym vlog for you guys, and it's kind of like a what I eat in a day, plus a little Walmart haul, motivational and inspiration as well. So if you guys like those kind of videos, please subscribe so you don't miss out. I'm gonna try and upload, I think, my videos on Fridays. I think that's the day of the week that I want to upload. That way during the week I can just film and work on and edit the things that I want to show you guys. And I do kind of have a schedule for my videos, so everything's pretty much prepped and planned, and I'm so excited to show you guys more about it. And before I hop off this video, please follow my Instagram if you haven't already. It's CCBoo. I'm on TikTok as well, Babe by Bucked Up's Greens. I mentioned this in my first video. If you guys haven't watched it yet, go watch that video. I really love greens just because I am definitely the type of person where I was that type of person where I would bloat after almost every meal, especially that time of the month, and sometimes I would just be bloated for no reason at all. And I think a lot of the weight that I lost the first month was 7 pounds in 1 month, was because I was drinking my greens on an empty stomach. I had so much, I feel like so many toxins and so much poop all in there. I don't think you guys realize, especially if you're just eating crap, how much weight you can lose just by flushing your gut and having a healthy gut. Especially as a woman, it is super important to take care of your gut, take your prebiotics. And I will be talking more about supplements and vitamins maybe in another video, because it's really important and it's helped me a lot, and I didn't really cover it a lot in this video. But if you guys want to try these greens from Bucked Up, you can go ahead and use my code right here. And if you do use my code, please let me know and tag me and reach out so I can thank you guys personally, because the support never goes unnoticed around here. I peep all in each and every one of you girlies. So yeah, and they do have a lot of other products that I use on a daily that I can talk more about. Questions about them, my DMs are always open. I am brand ambassading for Titan right now as well, and I'm waiting to put in my order with Titan. It's more about like, it's more workout apparel and stuff like that. And I do have a Fabletics order coming, which I'm super excited to film and talk to you guys and show you guys what I got in the mail and just like how I like it and my review on that. And another thing I wanted to announce is that I'm also new to the Raw team. So you guys might have seen it in Walmart. They have like pre-workouts and they have proteins and they have their own lines of supplements. And so I'm super excited to place my first order with and I do have a coupon code that I'm going to list below. Announce that I also am brand ambassadoring for a couple other brands that I am really excited to talk to you guys about. But thank you guys so much. I really love and appreciate you. I am so freaking hungry, so I'm about to go eat. But I will see you guys on my next video. Bye, you guys.